Bulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, man pronounced dead wins payoff. Ministry to investigate leaking of teacher information. And PM visits Blue Ribbon area of Vakandrove.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
But first up, the Registrar of Political Parties has this afternoon lifted the suspension of PDP to allow the party to comply with the Political Parties Act 2013. Registrar Mohammed Saneem says following the receipts of various documents from the PDP, they have established that the officials had neglected and or failed to ensure that they had properly implemented the requirements of the PDP constitution, in particular in relation to the appointment of an acting president following the resignation of Linda Tambuya, so that the party was able to duly comply with the requirements of Section 11 of the Act. Saneem says they have therefore lifted the suspension so that PDP can hold a proper management board meeting as per its constitution, and then appoint various office holders who can then sign off on the application required under the Act. The Suva High Court has ordered CWM Hospital to pay $10,000 to 59-year-old Jane Narayan, who took legal action against the hospital for damages and negligence over an incident that saw him pronounced dead and left traumatized by the experience. Narayan sued for damages because of pain and suffering and for loss of amenities due to the negligence of CWM staff in 2013. Pranita Prakash reports.
Narayan is happy that justice has prevailed and he has been awarded $10,000 for damages.
I have suffered a lot. I get short breaths, I'm not able to work, I get tired quickly. Before I used to drive and earn income. I used to sell vegetables and income for myself. Now I can't do anything.
During the trial last year, Narayan had informed the court that he was treated with penicillin, to which he reacted and collapsed. Narayan testified he told the medical staff of his allergy to penicillin, but they didn't listen to him. After the severe reaction, the doctors then advised Narayan's wife that her husband was dead and would be taken to the morgue. As he was about to be moved to the morgue, Narayan's wife saw his eyebrows and forehead slightly moving. The doctors then examined Narayan and declared he was alive. In his ruling today, the High Court judge said the court is of the view that Dr. Mafa Lokenga, who attended to Narayan, initially did not discharge the duty of care expected of a doctor. The judge further stated that doctors have a high degree of responsibility towards their patients and that Dr. Mafa failed to discharge their duty to the satisfaction of all concerned. The judge also said that Narayan is entitled to the damages for what he had experienced due to the negligence of the doctors involved. The court has ordered CWM to pay Narayan $10,000 in damages and $2,500 as court cost. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
A man alleged to have raped a 12-year-old girl and tried to run over her with his vehicle has been remanded in custody by the Magistrates Court this afternoon. Manasa Ratulolo is being charged with 1 count each of abduction of a person under 18 years with intent to have carnal knowledge, wrongful confinement, indecently annoying a person, assault with intent to commit rape, criminal trespass and assault. The prosecution objected to his bail on the grounds that this is an indictable and serious offence and the accused might interfere with the witness. The prosecution confirmed in court that there is no domestic relationship between the accused and the victim. The matter will be recalled on February 12th to decide on the transfer of the case. Education Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum has ordered an investigation into the Education Ministry. The independent probe begins tomorrow to find out who is leaking personal information in regards to teacher contracts and salaries on social media. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Education Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum says an enormous amount of information has been publicized on social media of which many are inconsistent.
So we're going to actually start some investigations in this respect, and that's starting from Tuesday this coming week. We're getting some people from outside the ministry, including from the Civil Service Reform Management Unit, and people from some of the other ministries to work together to ensure and actually hone in as to which were the civil servants who were actually causing these issues.
Civil Service Reform Unit Director Jane Curran will be chairing the independent investigation, and Syed Qayyum says those responsible will be held accountable.
Of course, once those who are responsible are found, they will be held accountable. They need to go through a discipline process because we need to have a sea change in the culture in the Ministry of Education.
The minister also highlighted that they are looking at solving outstanding issues within the ministry.
We also have some outstanding issues in regards to teachers and the transfers. We are in the process of course, assessing which schools require teachers, but also we have a number of issues where representations again were made.
A range of new protocols will be introduced for the Education Ministry to address a number of systematic issues affecting Fijian teachers. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama recently visited the Blue Ribbon area of the Kaunrove as part of his northern tour, opening and commissioning government projects. His second last stop of the tour was at the turf of SEDELPA leader Sitiveni Rambuka. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
Political differences aside, SEDELPA leader Sitiveni Rambuka traditionally welcomed the Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama and his delegation to his village of Nrekeniwai in Navatu, the Kaunrove last week. Bainimarama was chief guest at the commissioning of the solar system project at Nrekeniwai District School and the launching of the Walesi digital television platform.
The Vanua of Navatu, its chief, and the church, we welcome you here today.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama was accorded a full traditional welcoming ceremony, after which he spoke to the people of Navatu about development for the rural and remote areas of Fiji.
The project is part of the efforts of spreading development across the nation. As we enjoy our 8th year of consecutive annual growth, the fruits of this growth should be shared equally with our rural and maritime zone as well.
For years, the teachers and students of Nrekeniwai District School didn't have access to the latest technology due to the lack of a steady power supply. That's now a thing of the past.
The Nrekeniwai District School solar project has a total cost of $14,000. I commend the school community for this initiative, where 50% of the cost was provided by the community and the balance met by government. Such partnership arrangements will always attract favorable response from government.
And for the first time, the people of Navatu are now able to watch crystal clear television from within their homes following the launching of the Walesi digital platform.
You will need to buy your TV set, but the black box will be given for free. For those of you whose income is over $30,000, you will have to purchase it.
The meeting in Nrekeniwai is believed to be the two's first public meeting and showed their willingness to set aside any differences or bitterness that existed before and support the development of the Vanua. Eleanor Tarangaivu, FBC News.
Still to come, Nandi and Lautoka residents prepare for water shutdown. And women's group look at ways to tackle violence. Stay with us.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and the moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko la ndo tali taka na Radio Fiji 1 na ndo moi viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tali, nagurara may nawamanyi, nandunga. Gitu tali taki na ndo pinasabale, nagunto rongo, barong na Radio Fiji 1 na ndo moi viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na ndo moi viti na bonga ni BNN.
Police have confirmed no reports of drugs or noxious gases being used in home invasions, despite claims on the issue. Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tunravu says while there have been social media stories, police only respond to cases officially reported to them. Maggie Boyle reports.
Home invasions are a growing concern, with claims that more sinister measures are being employed, such as the use of drugs to induce residents into a deep sleep while thieves ransack the house. FBC News spoke to a few people who suspect drugs might have been used by thieves prior to robbing them.
The stuff that got stolen wasn't only just from that little room that I had, but from the other rooms where everyone was obviously sleeping in. And it was all personal stuff, like phones that they'd put right next to them, wallets.
Photographer Leon Lord, while declining to talk on camera about his ordeal, told us through social media that the thieves would have been in their bedroom going through their drawers and emptying bags, which they had no notion of until he was woken up by his screaming wife, who had woken up to discover their back door open. The trauma of the robbery made even worse, Lord says, with his 4 children under 5 years of age asleep in the next bedroom. Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tuandravu says they have no confirmed cases of drugs being used to rob people.
We haven't received any concrete evidence of this coming out, but it has been reported by the people previously. They are being drugged, but when we tested them with those that are specialists on that, it comes out negative, and then so that is why I cannot confirm that police are investigating cases where people are being drugged.
ACP Tuandravu adds in some cases what is reported and what appears on social media are 2 different stories. He maintains that police will not respond to claims made on social media and will only investigate cases that are reported to their respective officers. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
People living in Nandi are already preparing for the 4-day planned water shutdown, which starts this weekend. The Water Authority of Fiji is again stressing to residents of Nandi and Lautoka to store water now, as only a few days remain. Felipe Naikaso has more.
With only 4 days remaining for the planned water shutdown in Nandi and parts of Lautoka, many residents are already storing water.
We are getting all the posts, whatever things we got in gallons, just filling it up ready.
The water shutdown is expected to affect around 160,000 residents from this Saturday until Tuesday.
I had a few drums which I kept it when I did not have the tank, but now I have cleaned it up and I've started filling up, and all the bottles that we used for drinking water that we bought, I'm using that for storage also, and I'm not throwing those bottles away, and I'm filling those bottles also, and all the buckets and drums. Yeah.
Yes, as we are all aware of the planned water shutdown, and the villagers in Sambeta are all prepared, as they have already filled up their buckets, bottles and drums to last them for 4 days.
The message from the authority has been clear to residents.
They should store water. We are announcing it 1 month before, so it's a matter of storing water. 200 liters is enough just for drinking and cooking during that period.
Water tanks will also be placed in locations in affected areas as backup reserve, and trucks will be deployed to refill the tanks. The planned water shutdown is to allow WEF to carry out major repairs at the Nangando treatment plant. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Fiji Commerce and Employers Federation has taken over the presidency of the Marrakesh Business Action for Climate from Morocco. The handover was conducted by the Fiji Disaster Resilience Council's Vice Chair Leonard Chan, who says this is a milestone achievement for the private sector. Rachel Nath reports.
The MBA for Climate, also known as Fiji Declaration, was signed in Bonn, Germany during COP23 in November last year.
Fiji being a very small island nation country, taking over such a big role, I think that just shows that the caliber Fiji has, the people that we have that can take actually and run this through. And it sort of complements the presidency of the COP23 that Fiji has taken over.
The Federation aims to achieve the 2 main targets set out in the Fiji Declaration by November.
And in November we'll be handing over to Poland, which is the next country host. However, in this, we would be doing a lot of trainings, we will be doing a lot of advocacies, and we will be holding an international conference as well, where the 55 member country will come in, participate, and we'll get our regional partners.
The Secretary will be taking on a new staff, full-time, to actually manage the process of supporting the Business Disaster Risk Council. Basically running out training the trainers program this week. So we're training as much people as we can. We've already run out a program in the north to look after the northern business operators. We're now doing it in
55 member countries will be attending an international conference later this year in Nandi, which will be hosted by the Employers Federation. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Ahead in sports with Jamie, Fiji drops to 5th place in World Series standings after poor performance in Sydney. But we now join Rachel for the latest in business.
Thank you, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Pacific TAFE aims to achieve more international accreditation. And in growing Fiji, Nave Walai Road upgrade benefits villages and farmers. Stay with us.
Moala rana vika o tikongona taunu singa toka ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na seri.
Ya dora subuni kurna bili. Borani batukara hambara binaranga. Do talitaki na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na seri. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na seri.
In business tonight, 16 USP Pacific technical and further education programs have been accredited and recognized internationally. Pacific TAFE Executive Director Hasmukh Lal says last year they received 2 international accreditations and 2 recognitions for their programs, surpassing the target laid out in their strategic plan for 2013 to 2018. Kelly Vidala reports.
This institution offers various programs from business, tourism, hospitality, arts and humanities, science, technology and environment.
Under the College of Business, Tourism, Hospitality, we have got international accreditation of all our hospitality and the tourism qualifications from International Center for Excellence in Tourism and Hospitality Education. In short form, we call it the ICE.
Many of these programs have been accredited by Australia and New Zealand, giving opportunities to students to also find work overseas. Graduates from Pacific TAFE say the programs are beneficial.
This will help us, like if we want to go overseas. It's better you go overseas and you are recognized.
Has helped me through my career. It has given me sound knowledge.
When students graduate from the program, they can go anywhere in the world with those certificates.
Meanwhile, the institution will be opening up another branch in the Northern Division.
We will make all these quality programs, which has got international accreditation, accessible to the people or to the students in the Northern Division.
Around 1,200 students graduated from Pacific TAFE last year, with 400 more to graduate in March. The institution is aiming to get international accreditation on the remainder of its 19 programs. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
And we now join Rocco from HFC Bank with the latest from the trading world.
Thank you. Let's look at the South Pacific Stock Exchange market wrap for last week. A total of 458,501 shares exchanged hands in 25 transactions. Total consideration amounted to over $1,869,000. A one-off transaction of over 360,000 VB holding shares totaling over $1.6 million were traded between 2 related parties via a special crossing trade. In other share price movement, all prices rose. Amalgamated Telecom Holding shares rose by 3% and concluded at $2.06. Freebird Institute ended the week at $2.65. FMF shares closed at $1.17. Fiji TV shares increased to $2.10. TTS shares hit a new maximum share price of $4.90. While Vision Investments rose to a new best share price of $3. The overall market capitalization rose by 2.67% to end the week at $1.91 billion. And that's the wrap from our local stock market, Vinaka.
Thanks, Rocco. Looking at today's current exchange rates set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The Fiji dollar rose against the Kiwi dollar but slipped against the rest of the currencies we cover due to the recent fluctuation of the American dollar. On the commodities market, oil prices continue to rise, closing at $66.35 a barrel. Gold dropped over $8 to close at $1,348 an ounce. And silver followed suit, closing at $17.38 an ounce. And in Fiji tonight, 4 years of struggle caused by poor road conditions will end for villagers and farmers living along Novewalai Road outside Nosori. Fulton Hogan Highways will grade and compact the road and also widen it from 3 to 5 meters. The overgrown grass that has not only narrowed the road but has also made the section slippery and dangerous to drive on in the rain. Fulton Hogan Highways work closely with FRA to complete the drainage and remove the high shoulders. And that's business this evening. Now to sports. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, Fiji men's seven-side finished 6th in Sydney, and 3 sporting complexes to be completed this year. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टॉक ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
The Fiji Airways men's seven-side is still without a title after 3 tournaments on the World Series, finishing 6th in the Sydney tournament last night. After defeating traditional rivals New Zealand in pool play, the Kiwis came back with a vengeance to outclass the Fijians 31-7 in the 5th place playoff. Vashnil Prasad reports.
The 5th place final in Sydney between New Zealand and Fiji was a repeat of the pool game, but only this time the result was in favour of the All Blacks. Just in first 7 minutes, the All Blacks took a lead of 26-0.
What a start turn! It's Malia, what a play! Vilimoni Karoi comes up with the goods and Malia penalty advantage. New Zealand swoop, New Zealand score! Vilimoni Karoi, Clark held the pass beautifully for Weir. They won't give up.
After some encouraging words at halftime, there was little hope that the national team would bounce back, but the players continued to make simple mistakes that cost them the match.
Sila made the decision to go up the middle of the park.
This interesting call from the referee would have changed the game, but the All Blacks took advantage and extended the lead to 31-0. Aaron Isau scored a consolation try for Fiji. Losing 31-7 was not a performance the Fijian fans had in mind, especially since the team last won a title in Hong Kong in April last year.
Okay, to my point of view, they all look unfit, no game plan. I think we need a local coach.
Well, actually, it was a good game, but Fiji teams need improvement and more discipline.
I think this team is no good and it's hopeless.
But for New Zealand, it was a sweet revenge and a morale booster ahead of the Hamilton Sevens.
We really just wanted to take something into next week, into Hamilton, so they beat us last night on the hooter, so we're pretty keen to get one back.
With another tournament gone begging, the question remains, can the national side win a title before the Commonwealth Games and the World Cup later this year? Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Minister for Youth and Sports, Laisine Tuitumbo, says all Fijians should continue to support the Fiji Sevens team. He adds fans should give Coach Gareth Baber ample time to structure the national sevens side.
If you recall when Ben Ryan was here, he came through the same problem too. But he got a plan and he worked according to his plan. Leave it to FRU, have faith on Faber and especially the boys.
Meanwhile, the Australian men's side recorded a memorable victory in Sydney, accomplishing one of its 3 goals for the season. The Aussies broke a 6-year tournament drought to win at home, running rampant over South Africa with a 29-0 win in the final last night. Vastil Prasad reports.
It was an epic final between the hosts Australia and South Africa in Sydney last night. The Aussies had not tasted victory after the then Tokyo Sevens in 2012. The indifferent coach side was a totally different team and caught the series favourite South Africa by surprise. Two quick tries from captain Lewis Holland and veteran James Stannard gave Australia a 14-0 lead at the half-time.
He might be the oldest on the park, but it doesn't matter.
Awesome. That's the goal we set out to achieve this year, and this is the first one, and the boys backed up from game 1 to game 6. And we developed and we grew. It wasn't the prettiest at the start, but it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. And
the team in green and gold were unstoppable in the second half, scoring 5 unanswered tries and demolishing the South African outfit by 29-0.
On the inside, O'Donnell getting close. O'Donnell is over. To O'Donnell. O'Donnell on Sinatla, and he gets away from Sinatla. Oh!
Yeah, probably the best thing to come out of a tournament at home is for everyone to get to see the hard work we put in. Friendly's had us for a while now. The amount of hard work that goes on behind the scenes, this support staff that we have back at Moore Park.
This victory will surely go down the memory line, as after 31 years, the Aussies lifted a title in Sydney. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
And after the Sydney tournament, Fiji has slipped to 5th place on the World Rugby 7 Series table. The side has 40 points and is 1 point behind Argentina, who finished 3rd in Sydney. Australia is in 3rd place with 43, while New Zealand has slipped to 2nd, 4 points behind South Africa, who topped the table with 58 points after 3 tournaments. Robust Fiji Sevens forward Joshua Vakurunambili is the only Fijian named in the Sydney Dream Team. He's joined by South African speedster Sibalo Sinatla and Argentina's Franco Sabato. Also making the list for the tournament's best 7, Australian captain Lewis Holland and teammates Team Anstey and Ben O'Donnell. Looking at the Hamilton Sevens set to start on Friday, Fiji has been drawn in Pool A with Wales, Spain and Sydney champions Australia. Series leaders South Africa is grouped with England, Russia and Papua New Guinea in Pool B. Host New Zealand leads Argentina, France and Scotland in Pool C, while USA is joined by Kenya, Samoa and Canada in Pool D. Sevens, rugby and climate change. Words you don't usually hear in the same sentence. But for the Ndela and Arona family from Natokalau and Kandavu, the national sport is its platform to raise awareness on this pressing issue. The Go Green Sevens tournament is in its 2nd year and is aimed at supporting Fiji's COP23 presidency. Eroni Tuinuku explains.
The reality of climate change inspired the Ndela and Arona family to use rugby as a medium to create awareness on COP23.
Village, one of the smallest villages in Kandavu, and we come from one of the smallest districts in Kandavu as well. So in order to reach out to many people, we need to use a medium or mode of advertising or awareness. And we thought it's fit to carry out the Sevens, which covers a lot of people in Fiji.
Last year, the tournament theme was plastic-free, and this year, organizers are focused on planting more trees.
We need to do a lot of reforestation, plant more trees, so we add on to the plastic-free.
The tournament is also focused on developing local players and exposing young talents for the benefit of Fiji rugby.
We are running rugby together, and also same time we awareness how to keep our environment.
32 teams will be taking part in the Go Green Rugby Sevens tournament that will be held from the 23rd to the 24th of next month at Gavi Park in Tavua. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has assured Fijians that pending sports infrastructure projects will be completed this year. The government has allocated over $1 million in the 2017-18 budget for the construction of 3 sporting complexes in different provinces. Meli Tavanga reports.
People in the rural areas and outer islands will soon have their own sporting facilities.
This year alone, we are spending $2.1 million to complete the long-awaited Budisea Sports Complex in Tandawa and the Saweki Sports Complex in Ngau, and continue construction of the Bunitao Sports Complex in Neta City.
Currently, a few sporting facilities are under construction, while work on others will begin soon.
We are currently constructing a 10-lane Olympic competition-sized pool in Lotoka, a new valley-level sports stadium, and a new public swimming pool in Sydney, along with dozens of rural sports fields throughout the countryside. And just down the road, we plan to refurbish the Vodafone Arena.
Meanwhile, the new over $4 million refurbished FMF gymnasium was officially opened over the weekend. The gym has better access for people with disabilities, and it also has an extended event area that can accommodate up to 200 people.
They haven't actually announced that it's being held at the FMF gymnasium just yet. I can't spoil the party and release everything, but I can reassure you that we do have major events lined up at the FMF gymnasium this year.
The Prime Minister says they will continue to invest in sporting infrastructure so that Fiji can host other international events that will also give exposure to our young players. Melita Wanga, FBC Sports.
Flying Fijian wing Nemani Nandolo scored a last-minute try for Montpellier to give his club a 30-29 win over Clermont in their French top 14 clash this morning. This win also pushing Montpellier back to the top spot. Melita Wanga reports.
Fijian giant winger Nemani Nandolo was in superb form for Montpellier, who had the final say for his side, and now they lead the top 14 table by 51 points. Watisoni Votu also scored a try for Pau to help his side pressed, while Sena at the level Stade Francho 45. Meanwhile, Semirandar outshined for Toulon yesterday, scoring a double to beat Bodo Beglers 32 points to 12. The Bas Joshua Tisov also contributed for Toulon in the second spell. Despite the win, Tisova was red-carded in the 33rd minute of play for a dangerous high tackle. Melita Wanga, FBC Sports.
36-year-old Roger Federer added another Australian Open title to his growing list of Grand Slam victories. Federer defeated Marin Cilic in 5 straight sets to win the Australian Open yesterday. In the women's category, Caroline Wozniacki won her first Grand Slam title, and along with it, the world #1 spot. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
Roger Federer says age is not an issue after he beat Marin Cilic to win his 6th Australian Open and 20th Grand Slam title at the age of 36.
I'm happy it's over now, either way, but of course winning is just an absolute dream come true. The fairy tale continues for us, for me. After the great year I had last year, it's incredible.
6th-seeded Marin Cilic says despite the loss, he is grateful for the support of his team and his fans.
We started this year amazingly well. We worked hard for it, and hopefully we're going to reach many Grand Slam finals, and we're going to be lifting these trophies in future.
Caroline Wozniacki says she is delighted that she will never again be asked about her lack of a Grand Slam title after winning the Australian Open.
I think being a new Grand Slam champion and world #1 sounds pretty good, so I'm very excited for that, and it's a dream come true.
Federer and Wozniacki are now rated world #1 and will focus on the next tournament that is set to take place in France in May and June. Eroni Tuinuku, FBC Sports.
A record equalizing 6th Australian Open and only the 4th player to win 20 or more major titles. Understandably, it was a very emotional moment for Roger Federer, his coaching team and family members at Melbourne Park last night. That's it from Sports Tonight. Catch weather later on with Angie. And speaking of weather, in our World of the Weird in the Wonderful segment later on, check out how New Zealanders are coping with its current hot conditions. That's coming up.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasawale, nagundurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 na Domoy Viti na bonga ni BNN.
In new media for Instagram lovers, the app setting is expected to change right away. You can now protect your privacy, clean up your feed, and other simple fixes to get the most out of your Instagram account. And it's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. We're almost ending January and it looks like the weather is changing as well. On the same note, there is a Category 1 tropical cyclone named Fehi, which poses no direct threat to Fiji. However, rain and clouds are to affect the western parts of the country from Thursday. Checking out the west for today, so sunny and hot, showers are likely for tonight. Eastwards from Pakhabarasuva, sunny and muggy, and there's showers tonight in the forecast. And up north, more clouds and showers are likely to continue here. At sea, northerly winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide tomorrow morning will be at 5:14 with low tide at 11:09. Sunrise will be at 5:52. For tomorrow, the day will start with showers, probably calm in the day bit, followed by showers at night. Tomorrow's temps, Bao will be the hottest with highs of 33 degrees. And looking further on to Wednesday, we're looking at a day of showers. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we ask, can the Fiji Sevens team bounce back in Hamilton?
Fiji is a very good team. We trust they can bring back the team.
I really hope Fiji bounces back in New Zealand this weekend, and they definitely will. Yes, they can win the next Sevens tournament, but they have to play smarter.
We always hope for the best because we believe that Fiji still can make it.
I just wish the boys all the best for the Hamilton Sevens.
In the world of the weird and the not so wonderful, it's been a blistering hot week across New Zealand with temperatures reaching up to 30 degrees on both South and North Islands. This is not only affecting the people but animals as well. Recapping the main stories, man pronounced dead wins payoff, ministry to investigate leaking of teacher information, and Nandi and Lautoka residents prepare for water shutdown. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, the results from last week, we had asked, can the Fiji Sevens team win its first ever Sydney title this weekend? Well, we all found out 51% said no. This week we are asking, will the Fiji Sevens team bounce back in Hamilton? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day sent in by Melrose Doriakula. The beautiful picture was captured at the Kokomo private island. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good night.
On the Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko lang ndo talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara may naomanyi, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasawale, nagundurong Barong na Radio Fiji 1 nandu mibiti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandu mibiti na bonga ni bienen.